She's back. Boom, 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 boom. I'm back. I know you missed me. But anyway, you see me on your following FYP, YT, YMCMB, AMG, GDG, blah, blah, blah. Because it's Moghel Saga episode infinity. Ndukula kuti nasindine 2 episodes. I'm so sorry I've been MIA. So to make it up to you, nasindrupai 2 stories. So right now, Trugita, Moghel Saga. And then it's going to be Jesus story time. But kuti content on Jesus story time, you need to make sure you engage in this one and like Jesus story time. So yeah, that's the catch. TD Papo, save my number, +27 67 68 31 637. I have some amazing wigs. 100% you mean my pixie. Very, very lovely. So save my number, morning catalog, and keep your eye open for my story. I know y'all been saying Mudama short weaves and stuff like that. So yeah, tomorrow I'm restocking. Do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, to my YouTube family. You're so amazing. I love you all. If you want to join the gang, Tanata Marimira, please go and subscribe and like all my videos. Now let's get it. Wow, future ya move about whatever. Okay, munedwa na sit chamti girl or Moghel. Yeah, chamti Moghel. So Moghel says her story yakatanga 2023, right? So in 2023 she was 2023 she was 27 years old. She was working at a very nice company and in a private company. Board is right on yato make sense. Angatone kamota kake to gara like kuma avenues kwake and a nice bachelorette apartment kake, everything was airy. So it just so happened kuti, you know, kumabasa no been my workshops and stuff like that. So at this particular time wagenda ku workshop, it was one of the biggest workshop expos kubasa kwabo yaganitwa ku the City of Kings in Blues, right? So she went to Blues, and you know, kuma workshop you fuse with other companies as well, and she met Big Mike, right? So on a Big Mike they just hit it off. She was just like, oh, this guy was just good looking and he looked like he's in his late 40s, early 50s, but and I was just like, listen, let me just go along with it, right? So her and Big Mike started talking, and then they just ended up dating. The good thing about it, I don't know if I should say good thing, but anyway, Big Mike was actually not based in Blues, he was also based in Harare. So Pavakadzoko Harare, he and Big Mike just hit it off, like things were just making sense, right? So Antaroti, at that time when she met Big Mike, she had a Demio, right? A Mazda Demio. Very cute car, cutesy and stuff. But Big Mike said, no, I don't roll with ladies that don't have Max, right? AMG, DDG, y'all get it. AMG, he said, I want my babies to have Mercedes. Well, it was not AMG, but you get my point. It was Mercedes, okay? He said, I roll with girls with Mercedes. So he swapped that Demio for Mercedes. He did a little swap and swap type shit, and then she started using a Mac. Now it just so happened, there was a time I had with my friends, Kunanzu Pomona. You know that place? Ikoko. Pomona, that place close to Borodo, right? Ikoko. And she had decided to get a lunch, rather late lunch with my friends ake. So vatenda ku some restaurant Ikoko, and then vato paka make yake, and you know, some guys are just like, oh nice, because yangeka pimpwa marims acho, right? So my face angara watched, oh nice car. And then there's a guy akaya vapaka the AMG DDG rake, those big badge Max avapaka beside now, and he was just looking at it like, oh, the rims here are nice. So hands in face we are in a restaurant, and he was just like, sorry guys, can I please note in the nani make it up, like I want to know where they got their rims done. I want to get rims aketa say why. So he was obviously patable bigachi that car. He didn't know kuti it was actually a girl who owned the car. So the guys are like, oh no sir, it's not Aspanapa, it's the lady at the airport. Chichichi. He went there, he's like, hey, I really like your car and I really want to see who did your rims. Can you please give me my details? And then she was just like, oh okay, no worries. Honestly, I'm not really sure about the number, but take my number, I'll take your number, then we can communicate, then I will really confirm the number, because I'm not the one who did it, right? And then he was like, okay, cool. Acting got this guy, we're gonna call this guy Big Mike too. Anyway, she started dating both of these Big Mikes, and she found out both of these guys are good looking, they are proper. You know, this person is way too put together to be a bachelor. That's the type of people they were, and they were both in their late 40s. So she knew obviously these people are married, but she said, I never asked because I didn't want to feel bad or anything. So I was just like, no, and this anything like, is you married and stuff like that, because no go concern me. So she said, you know, but I'ma just go with it. And you know, yeah, she started her affairs with the 2 Big Mikes. The big Mike who bought the car was all about, Shari, I can't do this, but tell your friends, go to you want to go. At some point she was sent to Maputo for a holiday with her friends, and he was just like, get 2 friends, I can pay for everything. I'm afraid I'm unable to come, but go with your friends, enjoy. Here's some money, spend it for no reason. Come back, ask for more type shit. And then the other big Mike was very involved. He just treated her like a princess, like, listen, you're my girl, if I'm with you, you're not driving, you're my little passenger princess. So they both loved her. So now it got to a point, the relationships became very serious, like, like serious. I'm not talking like Matipa Jonasi type of serious. No, I'm not talking about that. Speaking of Jonasi, Ruru had said, Tani, can you change Stara Big Mike to Jonasi? We cannot do that. As fun as that is, we cannot do that, because that will remove the originality of our content. You know what I mean? Do you guys get what I'm trying to say? So we cannot say Jonasi because it's just so unoriginal. We know where we got the name Big Mike. I hope you guys remember our small house saga. I think it was episode 3 that unlocked the name Big Mike. So we need to keep Big Mike, my love. Okay. Anyway, the relationship is going well, they're cruising nicely. So there was a point, Yakuti Moghel, others went in a big Mike too, the one who was very involved. Let's go to Cape Town. They go to Cape Town, they enjoy Cape Town. Now at this particular point out of Cape Town, that's when she realizes Kuti, Big Mike 1 is also in Cape Town, but he's not alone, he's with his family. So she found this out via his Facebook. He just told her, Kuti, I'm gonna be in Cape Town, and she was like, oh, okay, cool. But they were not trying to meet. That's when he said, I'm with family. So he didn't specify, Kuti, my wife and kids or whatever. So it's on Facebook where she realized, Kuti, he's in Cape Town with his wife and kids. Anyway, that was no big deal. She's just doing a thing with Big Mike too and stuff like that. Until, yes, I love Ray William, until she ended up figuring out Kuti ku restaurant kwavaenda. So there's a restaurant in Zenzo, right? Is it Zenzo, right? In Kames Bay. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm totally forgetting the name. Never been there. It's close to my favorite chinchilla, that restaurant. So that's when she realizes she just booked a table just right next to Big Mike and his family. So Big Mike was fuming, Kuti, like, what are you doing here with him? I thought you went with the girls because I gave you money to go with the girls. And she's like, Kanone Magatsu, where? You're with your wife, where? So Big Mike was just like fuming, like, oh my word, So eventually Big Mike goes to the bathroom and Moghel also goes to the bathroom and they start talking. She's like, listen, you got your wife and it is what it is. You got 2 partners, you got me and your wife. I also got this man and you. So it's a balanced equation. You get 2 women, Big Mike 2 gets 2 women, I get 2 men. So it's a balanced equation. So and then, Big Mike 2 kind of caught the air, something is going on. He caught the wind of it. He's like, let me go to the bathroom. Big Mike 2 goes to the bathroom. He's like, bro, what are you doing? Rudi Preman and stuff like that. He's like, do you know that's my girl? He's like, well, do you know that's my girl? So they say back when it's not like, listen, that's my girl. And, it just ended just like that because they realized we had a restaurant and we can't be doing all this drama. In case you're wondering why I'm using Shonglish that much, the person who gave me the story is actually not Shona. She's Ndebele. She understands Shona, but she was just saying, listen, I would appreciate if you could do more of Shonglish, as much as almost everyone in Zim understands Shona. Some people prefer if we just mix, so you know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, I know Mese Morgonzwa, so we good. So let's stop this, let's and let's just go home, right? So the next day departure Moghel and Big Mike 2, they left and Big Mike 2 was like, listen, you need to choose, like it's either him or me. And she was just like, listen, you gotta choose as well, it's either your wife or me. And the guy's like, listen, what you're saying is not practical. And she said, what you're also saying is not practical. So at this particular point, Big Mike 1 did his research. We don't know how, till this day she doesn't know how, but he ended up contacting Big Mike 2. Could listen, I'm the man who was with the wife and the kids, that's my girl, so what's up? And Big Mike 2 is like, well, she my girl. And he's like, well, she my girl too. So that's when they realized we're messing with the same girl, dun dun dun, type shit, right? That's when they realized they really are messing with the same girl. But they both realize we both are married, right? So at this point, this is something that's happening. which is unaware. So she tells this guy you can't make me choose. So that's when Big Mike 2 a few days later tells her kuti shamarga dan Big Mike 1, and we just realized you are dating both of us, and we also have our wives, and we cannot be mixed. Like, we already have our wives, we can't be mixed by a side chick. So I think I'm done. So this was Big Mike 2 saying, listen, I'm out. And she's like, ugh, as if, she's like, you are so selfish because you have a wife, but you expect me to have only you. What the hell, bro? So Big Mike 2 is like, peace out. And then Big Mike 1 ends up saying, listen, did you break up with that guy? She's like, yeah. And then they start cruising nicely, because at this point Big Mike 1 is confirmation even from Big Mike 2 kuti there's Hanani and Moghel, if you want her, she's all yours. So varuto data, everything is going well. And then she realized like 2 months after she broke up with Big Mike 2 that, listen, it's been a while since I got my menses, so let me test. And then she tells Big Mike 1, who she was now with, kuti like, I'm pregnant. And that's when Big Mike 1 says, oh, okay, no worries, we'll work this out, don't worry, I got you, I love you, now that you are gonna have my baby, I think, just after you give birth, I'm gonna get you a nice push present, like a better Mac, not like because the Mac Yangana was a baby Benz. So he was like, now we're gonna get you a better Mac, those sedans, my C-class type shit. We're gonna get you that after you give birth, so that you can have more space for the baby's car seat and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. So she's cruising nicely, the pregnancy is going well. Big Mike 1 is very, very much involved. Now what happens is she gets to register Baines Avenue, all that stuff. And the day she goes into labor, she calls Big Mike, yo bro, I'm what, because Big Mike had already paid damages. He only paid the damages. So the family was also involved. They were like, mwana say agno chichi, and then Big Mike is like, okay, kondrukuya. So abano jara, and then Big Mike comes the day after, right? So this is the point she ends up telling her family, guys, munwandi na yo yuchi anemkati so ahakwanta gokiana sajazo yamangwana. And the family is like, how could you drop such a bomb on us like that? But anyway, listen, Ratritika, he paid damages or whatever. And then Big Michael Vaso Uyachi the next day hospital. He comes with some balloons, and it was a beautiful baby boy. He comes with balloons. He's like, I'm so happy. So once in Tufara, he comes with balloons and some roses and some donuts, because he knew I love donuts, glazed donuts, right? So anyway, Auntie Big Mike was so happy. He's like, oh, I'm so happy, I'm happy for you. And she's like, oh, thank you, that type of thing. And then a couple of minutes later, Big Mike 2 enters the chat. And then Moghel is like, I'm sorry, what is he doing here? And Big Mike 1 is like, listen, sweetie, you were mixing us up. So at this point, we are not sure whose baby it is, who the baby daddy really is, right? So since we're at the hospital, we're just going to get some, saliva, do some buckle swapping and stuff like that, so that we get the results, and they'll be out in 7 days. And she's like, okay, cool. Yeah, get tested. The people from the labs come, they take, saliva and stuff like that, buckle, whatever, swabbing and stuff for all 3 parties involved. And then she says that was the longest 7 days of her life, because they were both involved at this point, Big Mike 1 and Big Mike 2, because they were not sure who the baby daddy is, who's the birthday, right? So 7 days pass, and then the results come out, and the niggas come and they're like, listen, my results are Buddha, so people. Now at this point, the whole family was fully aware that our child was having affairs with 2 married men, and this happened. So the whole family was at her house for the whole week, because at this point she was no longer even staying in an apartment. Oops, sorry. Anyway, then I don't remember. Okay, so the family was fully aware Gutichi Mwana was dating these men and stuff like that. So she was no longer staying co bachelorette right? She was now staying in a 2-bedroom apartment, right? For obvious reasons, right? So as you know, Tino's Numa bachelor pad and stuff, old studio, whatever, but it's literally a 1 room that, you know what I mean? So obviously she ended up staying at a 2-bedroom apartment, and her relatives were there, like her mom, her dad, her uncles and stuff like that. They were not staying in the apartment, they were just around. But around the time everyone was in that house. She says at that time we were 15 people in that house, 15 of my relatives in that house. There's 2 Big Mics to come with the results. excuse me, they call her and they're like, girl, the results are out. And they come there, go apartment, and they're like, okay, teacher Vrama results sheet, say no one is gonna see the results before. And she's like, okay, cool, no worries. So the Vaenda the Vava for my results, and they're like, okay, my results are Buddha. So they gave the uncle my results, the mom's brother. They're like, okay, guys, is gold my color though? Because I'm more of a silver girly, but I'm really feeling this gold though. I mean, I'm gonna give it a try though. Anyway, the my results of Forwa, and they realized Big Mike 2 is not the baby daddy. They realized Big Mike 1 is the baby daddy, and Big Mike 2 is like, okay, clean exit. Make I carry myself, they go far away, because they concern me. So he left, and Big Mike 1 is like, listen, I already paid damages and you all know my situation, like I'm married. And that's when the uncle says, sir, I'm a man, okay? I've been doing this cheating stuff. One thing you will not do is do the same thing I do to other women to my own niecey. We're gonna go to your wife and tell her what's up. And this muzukuru of mine finna be your second wife, whether you like it or not, whether uyithanda or ungayithandi, noma yini uzochathela umuntu, uzochathela umntwana wethu. I hope I did it well though. So uncle says, my brother, I'm going home with you and I'm gonna tell your wife what's up. There was no room to say yes or no, because he was not asking, he was telling him. Uncle goes to the house. He goes with his sister. He goes with his brother-in-law. He goes with his other sister. Kokenda 5 my representative. The 5th one was Gogo. So they went and they told my guru, your man's been having an affair with our child. She even gave birth 7 days ago. And results came out today. He the daddy. He paid damages already. But one thing we are not going to do is treat this child like it's a what? Because this child is not a... So yeah, Goles Doshidipo, welcome the second wife. Wamukelela or something like that, welcome her. They say my guru just froze. Just like that. She fell down. She started hyperventilating. And she went to the hospital. BP Noveaquira. My guru was only 36 years old. Avabatwa BP. Yakakwira for like 2 weeks, but the hospital it was bad. She still has BP because of that situation. She ended up becoming the second wife. She stays kwa Nogara. Her and my guru don't mix like that, because my guru still has that BP. She's a second wife in name. She gets provided for and whatever, but she's not a wife. She's not invited to events, nothing. She's just a second wife, just formality's sake. But she and the men, they're actually not together. But guess what? As long as I am still staying at that place he bought for me, driving the car he bought for me, I'm not supposed to have another man. The only way I can have another man is if I leave the marriage. So she's saying that's my dilemma. And guess what? The polygamist triggered her that bad, because obviously you can tell. So the polygamist may not be based on like one man with all those people, but there's a series of events in a real thing. Zakabata needs were integrated into one character. These things are actually happening. Take care of yourself. Remember, there's now a new injection in 6 months. Every 6 months you can get it. I'm forgetting the name. I'm going to write it here when I'm editing. Make sure you get it. Protect yourself. At this point, y'all should just be doing Madarika Nombi for procreation's sake. Right, patients? Tell them. Yeah, so stay safe out there, because shit really be hitting the fan. This is your girl Tani Almari, Tanata Marimira, aka my Ellie. I hope y'all enjoy this story, and I hope y'all engage, like, and whatever, so that we can produce just a story time in the afternoon. I love you all. Mwah.